Hi everybody, this is Cassie with Northwoods Pilates, and today we're going to be doing a video specifically for sciatic pain relief. So if you've been dealing with sciatica, you know that it can be very painful. We're going to be using a strap later on in the workout. If you don't have a strap, you could always use a belt or a sheet. But to start with, just set that to the side and you're going to turn and lay on your stomach. So hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. Legs can be a little bit apart here. As you inhale, you're going to press in with those hands and lift up the head and chest. So this is our swan. It should be a gentle movement, kind of moving just as much as your upper back wants to move, not forcing the movement by pushing in with those arms. It should be a gentle inhale and lifting up of the head and chest, and then exhale back down. If anything bothers your sciatica during this video, just stop that movement. You can try another movement or you can stop it altogether because you want to be really gentle with this condition. You don't want to muscle through it. You want to just give it time to heal and only do things that feel good. All right, make your way up to all fours, and we're going to do just a little bit of rounding and extension of the spine, or a cat-cow movement. So you're going to round your spine, drop your head, and then lift the head, stick the tailbone out. So all of this movement is in that back, in that spine, curling down and then lifting and extending as you reach the head and tailbone away from one another. Inhaling to drop, and then that big exhale, or just moving with your breath, whatever feels comfortable for you. Finding as much length in the spine as you can there. Let's do one more. Then you're going to return to kind of a neutral spine, so head and tailbone in one straight line, and then lift up the opposite leg and opposite arm and fold them back in. So it's a nice long reach, kind of a big inhale as you reach, and then exhale to come back in. You're trying to keep as centered as you can as you do these movements, so you're trying to keep without shifting the hips too much. They will shift a little bit, but you're going to try to stay in that midline range as much as possible. Reaching the arm and leg away from one another, getting length through those fingers, through those toes. Good. And then hold out there. So we're going to do the same movement and just hold there and breathe. You might be a little bit wobbly. That's okay. Just fine tuning there. You'll feel your body start to warm up, and then come back in, and same thing on the other side. Working that long diagonal across the body. So you're getting that reach all the way from the toes up through those fingers, and then fold back in. Good. We're going to turn, and you're going to be lying on your back. So you want to be comfortable on your back there with the legs bent and the feet planted on the floor. We're going to do some pelvic tilt. So it's a really tiny movement. You're going to tilt your hips back toward your face, and then you're going to reach them away from you a little bit. So if you imagine like you've set coffee cups on top of each hip bone there, you're going to first kind of tip them back, spill the coffee up your shirt, and then you'll tip them away and spill the coffee down your pants. The whole movement should feel like a little pushing of the low back into the mat as you tilt back, and then you'll come back to have that little gap in the low back as you tilt away. It's not a big movement, but really helping to loosen up that low back. A few more here. Inhaling as you tilt back, and exhaling back down. Good. And then just find that neutral spine. We're going to get ready for shoulder bridge. So you're going to do that same exact starting movement, but then just keep going and lift the hips up, and then melt the spine down, roll all the way down, and you'll untuck the hips at the bottom. So very important to start this movement the same way you did it with that pelvic tilt, and end it as well with finding that little bit of space. So it's an inhale to tilt back, lift the hips up, come into that straight line, exhale, melt the spine back down, untuck the hips at the bottom. Your feet are going to be pressing down evenly into the floor with weight under the ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, and heel. And those arms will be gently pressing down into the floor as well. Big inhale to come up, creating a straight line between the shoulders and the knees, and then exhale back down. One more here. Come all the way back down, And then you're going to stay there, but bring your feet together, knees together, arms out wide. We're going to twist. So knees can drop to one side. Your head's going to turn and face the opposite way. And then come up through the center and twist to the other side. So a little knee sway here. Inhale up through the center. You're going to exhale, twist that opposite direction. Again, only going and doing movements that feel okay for your body. So if you feel any pressure or any nerve pain in doing any of these movements, you're going to want to take a break and wait and just skip to the next movement. Good. Twisting there. Bring those feet back in line. We're going to keep the knee bent and do a little knee fold. So one leg will lift up to over the hip and then exhale back down. This is not a big movement, but it is a great place to kind of focus on that core strengthening. So as the foot comes back down, hug those abdominal muscles in. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, you're going to hug the belly muscles in as the foot comes down. Good. Just alternating side to side, trying to keep your hips really nice and anchored there, so that there's not too much movement as you switch from one side to the other. And then we're going to take a stretch. So hug one knee back toward your chest. Stretch that other leg out. With the leg that's stretched out, do a little flex of the foot. So kind of curl the foot so that the toes are reaching back toward you, up toward the ceiling. And you're just going to stay there and take some nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale, hugging that knee back tight toward the chest if that feels okay. And then we'll carefully, slowly switch to the other side. So you're going to hug the other leg in, the leg that's stretched out. Remember, you're going to do a strong flex of that foot, toes curling up toward the ceiling. And just breathing there. And then we're going to need your strap or belt or sheet or towel or whatever you have accessible. You want to be able to take that strap right around the ball of the foot, so right underneath those toes, and your leg is going to be straight. If you can reach it up toward the ceiling, great. If you can't have the leg straight with it reached up toward the ceiling, just lower it down away from you so it's more kind of at a 45-degree angle. And then the whole movement here is a point and flex of that foot. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to glide that nerve. You cannot stretch nerves, but you can slide and glide them. And so we're trying to glide that nerve to release some of that pain. So it's not a big movement, but you're just pointing the toes up toward the ceiling and flexing the foot back down. We're going to do quite a few of these. You might get a little bit tired in your foot, ankle, or calf, but just do what you can. Again, if this does cause your sciatica to feel worse for any reason, you would just skip it and move on to another exercise. Good. We are going to switch sides. So you're going to take that strap or whatever tool you have to be able to hold on to that leg, and do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to straighten the leg up toward the ceiling and then point and flex through that foot and ankle. And just getting as much range of motion there with the foot and ankle as you can. If your strap is coming looser, you could always choke up a little bit just to make whatever adjustments you need to get that movement through the foot, through the back of the leg, and ultimately up into that hip. You can shoot for about 10 to 20 of these. Again, kind of going until you feel like you're getting a little bit tired. And then we will take that strap off. So you're just going to set it out of your way. And we're going to do a figure 4 stretch here. So you're going to cross the ankle over the other knee. If that's enough of a stretch, you can stay right there. If you want to make it more intense, kind of an active version of this stretch is to lift up the other leg without holding on. It will be work here. So you're going to hold there, just the one leg supporting the other leg, and breathe and stretch. You can also do this stretch if you imagine like I was laying on a chair and just flip the chair back up. You could do the exact same thing seated in a chair. That would be a great way to relieve some of the sciatic pain. And then switch sides and bring that leg back up. Holding there, still breathing. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you are suffering from sciatic pain, I'd recommend doing the video every day for a couple of weeks and see how it feels. To learn more about Pilates, please visit us at www.northwoodspilates.com. Have a great day.